Hi. This is a short clip from the PowerWisdomLove.com video series, and in that series, we talk about Source being the darkness, and God being the light, and you see both when you die, and here's why. God is Source's vibrational twin. Except, they're not identical twins. They are twins, as in they both have the same mind, but they're not identical twins, because God's mind vibrates, whereas Source's mind does not. Source is pure consciousness, whereas God is the vibration of consciousness. And when God's vibration of consciousness appeared in the cosmos, it vibrated at the highest frequency of electromagnetic vibration possible, which is pure divine light. That's not any sort of light we're familiar with, such as incandescent light or sunlight. That's the light of God, which is a spectrum of light, way beyond human perception and imagination. It's such an intensely bright, high-frequency pulse of light, it apparently lights up the entire cosmos, which is why God is often referred to as the central sun. Source, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. When Source appeared in the cosmos, Source remained hidden, as pure consciousness, and that doesn't have any electromagnetic vibration at all, and hence doesn't emit any divine light. In fact, Source is so still, and so void of light, Source became an etheric field of absolute and total darkness. And that's not darkness as in evil, but darkness as in the total absence of light, and the total absence of reality. And we can't see or experience the darkness of Source, or the light of God, because they're both hidden away in the divine realm, and for good reason. The light of God is such a high-frequency vibration of power and wisdom, if we were to ever see it, it would vaporize us instantly. And the darkness of Source is so filled with love, if we were to ever experience it, the gravity of Source's loving consciousness would instantly crush us into a paper-thin human pancake. Put another way, Source God is just too much love and light for us to handle, which is why it's safely locked away and hidden inside the divine realm. However, we do get to see both when we die. Or at least that's what we believe happens, based on our research into near-death experiences. Because if you really want to know what happens after death, it's best to deal with the people who have actually died, and come back to tell the tale. We've researched a lot of near-death experiences, and the people in those experiences all seem to say the same thing. They die, leave their body, travel through a dark void, into a tunnel of light, have an amazing experience in the afterlife, before returning back to their bodies. But the two things that stand out for us are the dark void and the tunnel of light, because we believe that's the darkness of Source and the light of God. Let's start with the darkness of Source. Many near-death experience survivors, or NDEs for short, report that shortly after death, they enter into a deep dark void. They describe this void as being an endless realm of incredibly peaceful and comforting darkness, that's so void of light, so black and so still, it's beyond peace, beyond silence, and beyond even reality itself. Well, we believe their departed human soul is floating inside the darkness of Source. That's because, when the soul leaves the body after death, it also leaves the illusion of reality, and returns back to all that is, which is Source God consciousness. It enters into the darkness of Source's consciousness first, because Source is within all things, before encountering the light of God's consciousness second, because God surrounds all things. And what's really interesting to us, is when NDEs are in the void, suspended in the darkness of Source, they never seem to report meeting Source, or communicating with Source, or experiencing any of Source's love. That's because, the darkness of Source's consciousness, is the stillness of nothingness, and that doesn't have any vibration, and hence any reality people can commune with, even during death, because it's basically nothing. But God's consciousness vibrates, so that has a reality of divine light, that people can relate to during death, and that's what appears next, out of the darkness of Source. This is the famous tunnel of light, we've all heard so much about. And the reason why it's a tunnel of light, is because the light of God either appears out of, or surrounds the darkness of Source, which in either case, would look like a tunnel of light. And NDEs describe this light as being an intensely bright, shimmering pulsing white light, or golden white light, beyond any type of light they have ever seen before. Which is exactly what the high-frequency vibration of God's light would look like, especially appearing out of the darkness of Source. And when that light appears, it carries with it several layers of divine love, which NDEs all agree, is just too amazing to put into words. Apparently, it's so thick with pure unconditional love, and feels so amazing, most NDEs don't want to return back to their bodies in the real world. They just want to stay in the light, so they can feel more of that love, even if that means abandoning their loved ones, and their previous life, and continuing on into the afterlife, where death is final. In other words, the love is so amazing, they're willing to die for it. But they don't, because what tends to happen is a voice tells them, it's not their time to die, and they must return back to their bodies to complete their mission in life. Yet, they all come back different. The love they experienced near death changes them. They no longer fear death, because they know just how much love is waiting for them when they die, and how wonderfully peaceful the death experience is that will take them there. But we believe it wasn't just love they experienced. We believe they experienced the nothingness of Source's love, through the powerful and wise vibration of God's light, which means they got a triple dose of divine power, divine wisdom, and divine love. Or at least a derivative of it, depending on how evolved their human soul consciousness was at the time of death. And that triple dose of power, wisdom, and love might help explain why all NDEs seem to come back with a lot more personal power, a lot wiser, and a lot more loving than they ever were before they died. However, when we die and enter the afterlife, which is on a much higher level than any near-death experience, we will be immersed in a triple dose of divine power, wisdom, and love, beyond anything anyone can imagine or put into words. It will be absolutely and extraordinarily phenomenal. And that's the funny thing about death. The thing we fear most will probably turn out to be the most amazing experience we ever have. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this short video clip and would like to watch the full version of this video, or the rest of our video series, visit our website at powerwisdomlove.com, or click on the link in the description or comments below. Otherwise, have a magnificently powerful, wise, loving day, and we'll see you in the next video.